this week, everyone, I said we would play with blocks, yoga blocks. I don't know how many of you have worked with yoga blocks before. There are two different kinds, really. There's what they call a full block, which is a little bit bigger than the size of your thin cushions. You've got, that's exactly it there. Yes, Hazel's got the other one, my favourites. Not quite that thin one, but the white one you've got, or if somebody has something that looks like the grey one, they're very good as well. Yeah, you've got it, you're all sorted. That's perfect, Jan, absolutely. Yeah, that was some good ones. Books work as well. Good. If I bore you, you can always start reading them. Take a moment, Charlotte, in 100. I'm just reading this chapter here. How much money is that one? I think it's £6, Mary. Let me double check it. They are super useful, these blocks. Well, since most of you have them, I'm sure that you've been told why before. They're really to help us get into positions that might feel a little bit awkward, usually. It doesn't mean anything, but a lot of people are a little bit reluctant to using them for some reason. But let's give it a go today and see how we feel. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it. I'll check them out and I'll let you know. You've got your mask on, Hazel. I don't mind. If you feel happy with that, you're very welcome to keep it on. It doesn't matter to me. Right, let's have a little look. So we are going to start standing up. Now, you've all been so diligent and been here a bit early. Should we just get cracking and just get on with it and then get on with the rest of the day? They haven't changed that time yet. That's all right. Just remind me to finish at 11:20 then, or whatever it is. All right, so there will be a balance element here with these blocks. So if you want to stand close enough to a wall for what we're going to start with, that you can put your hand out, and we're going to use the block or the books as well. Yes, indeed. So a lot of this here today will be strengthening our hips. So I'm hoping they will feel nice and juicy and mellow after all of this here today. So you can actually have this block whichever position you want, or your books at whatever you feel comfortable with. You might want to have it lengthwise here because we will have one foot on the block. That's it. And if you choose to use your fabulous blocks, go for that low level that you've got there. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, everyone, let's have a little look. Yeah, you feel happy there, Jan? You're not going to slide off the book or anything? That's good. Same for you, Jane. You're not going to slide off that book or anything? Excellent. All right. So we're going to start simply by stepping up onto the block. Nothing fancy, but really take a moment to notice where you are with your feet before we start. So think about this as a mini step exercise, right? And we're only going to work one leg at a time. I'm going to start stepping up with what looks like my left leg. So toes spread out as much as you can. Hopefully see a little bit of space in between them. If you are barefoot, just me, I'm safe. Then from here, let's see if we can hit that footprint every time we come back. So I'm going to step up onto the block, nice and gentle. The other foot can have toes down, or you can lift, I don't mind. And then we're just going to step back down again. So this is really gait patterning. That's it. So the foot comes back up. There you go. And as you do this, you might want to start thinking about how that foot is working as well. So when you step up, easy for me to say, plant the heel down, then roll through the arch, let the toes come down last. So heel, planted, rolling up. And now that we've started to warm up a little bit there through our ankles, maybe see if you feel confident enough to maybe let the other leg float away a little bit. We're not going to do this much longer, but we're just going to do a few more. That's it. Good. Nicely done. So we're just waking up that side. And on the next one, this is where we're going to stay now. So we're just going to stay here for a moment. If your toes are down, you might now want to consider lifting the toes away from the floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and have the hips perfectly nice and level here. And then we're going to do little hip dips. So that free leg of yours is going to drop towards the floor. So you're literally kind of dropping it down and then lifting the hip back up again. You're at an advantage there, Diana. You have a higher block. Little dip down and then lift back up again. So it's almost like a hip hike, but what I'd like to avoid is that stabilizing side pushing to the side, right? So it stays pretty nice and square forward, the leg drops a little bit, and then we pick up that hip. That's exactly it, Jane. Good. There you go. Yes. So again, we're waking up that side, we're connecting into gluteus medius and all the other fun things going on here. That's looking good, let's see. And on the next one, can we stay? Just leave this leg nicely dangling there. Can we give this leg a tiny little bend? Whew, perhaps not so easy. Pick a spot in front of you, look at that rather than down, and see if we can do a little bend there through that stabilizing leg. Nicely done there, down, a good job. And again, a little bend, sliding down. Try not to let your upper body go in any other direction than just staying perfectly upright. Good job there, Maui. That's a little bend again, strengthening, waking up. And then from here, let's just do 2 more, I think. That's it, good as well, Hazel. Keep those toes spread out, supporting you all. And then from here, stay nice and tall. From here, we're going to bring your free leg, the leg that's dangling, a little bit in front of you without the pelvis moving, and a little bit behind you. We're also, if we can, going to add the opposite arm. So it's a single starfish here. So one arm goes forward and up as the leg comes behind you, and then it presses down as the leg goes forward. And again, you don't have to use the arm. It's just a little bit of coordination. That's it. Just think about how that leg moves now. So it's not swinging freely. It's a controlled pendulum move. That's it. Mary, bring your right hip forward a little bit for me. Very good. Nice and square there, Diana. Good. So you come forward a fraction with your shoulder line. Nice and steady there as well, Jane. Good. And on this next one, once the leg has come a little bit forward, you can leave the arm reaching if you want. We're going to do tiny circles with this leg. We're almost done with this side. Work from the top of the thigh as always. Try to forget your ankle and your foot. The leg rolls as one lovely, long, strong line. Good, Mary. That's it. Nicely done. Ribs are in. Tiny little circles. Down the legs, so ankle a little bit more for me. And reverse those circles. Yes. Same stillness. Good job. Well done. The concentration in the room, fantastic, ladies. Steady your leg, pause for a moment. All right. Then from here, maybe last little challenge, just to hold. Leave the leg wherever it is, arms just maybe in Cossack or not holding on. Maybe give yourself that tiny challenge, just stay as steady as you can. And then we can draw above that side. How is that side feeling now?
It's awake.
It's awake, that's good. Excellent. Let's start that whole thing on the other side. If I do forget something, please remind me. So again, we're just going to line ourselves up. So when we step up, it's quite a natural little step back there for you. Spread the toes out again, and we're going to start with exactly that, our mini step ups. So place your foot up into the block. You can let go of that leg if you want to or not. This is just warming up that side. Again, think about how we are working through the feet here. That's it, Mara. Heel down, roll through the arms. Let the toes come down. There you go. Yes, good job. Well done. Also, maybe think about how much weight we're putting forward. Of course, there's weight, but we're going to try not to put the weight towards the too far forward over the toes. So we're staying quite steady through the whole width of the foot here. That's it. And let's give ourselves maybe another 2 here. Again, really waking up. Good. That down. I should have brought my high blocks as well. They're brilliant.
That's all I've got. I've never used them.
Have you not?
For the last 2 years.
Oh, there are so many things you can do with 2 of them.
I don't know what to do with them.
Next time you're up, let's stay. Okay, if you hadn't already let that free leg start to hang, let's do that now. Let's just find a good standing. Hips as square as we can. We're going to see if we can just drop the hip a little bit towards the floor and then lift it back up again. So it's like a little piece of string from the armpit on that side, or maybe the lower rib. lifting and lowering down. That's it. Keep the leg as straight as you can. Good there, Hazel. That's it. Let that leg hang a little bit more there, down. That's it. Good. Nice side, Jane. Very nice as well. Nice and good. And as we've now done a few, good there, Mary, think about again where the weight is going through your body. So we're not swaying, well, swaying is okay, but we're not leaning back or forward. On the next one, just stay with your pelvis as level as you can. I need to reset that foot there. Can we do a tiny little bend of the supporting leg there? So the one that's on the block, tiny, doesn't have to be very big. There we go. Maybe notice what the other leg is doing. It might turn out, it might turn in. Let's aim for it to be as straight a line as we can. If I'm super mean, Hazel, maybe push your left hip down forward a little bit. So we can get that down. Good. Well done, that down. Good. All right. That's it. One last one, and then let's stay nice and strong here. And it's time for this starfish side. So again, it's going to be opposite. So if you start with pulling that free leg a little bit behind you, opposite arm reaches up if you choose to do so. And then the leg goes forward. Arm a little bit behind you maybe. There's a little bit of a chest expansion there as well. There you go. Nice. As you keep that connection of the lower ribs in towards the spine. Good. That's it. A nice one. Nice with your back there, Jane. Lovely. Good. Maybe notice what your stabilizing knee is doing. Like a strong leg, but maybe avoid completely locking it back. Last one. And when the leg has come forward, maybe have the arm reaching, maybe not. Tiny circles. Again, all the way up from the top of the thigh. Yes, keep that sense of reach all throughout the leg. Good. Ideally gaze out somewhere in the distance. That's it. Good. So we're not looking down. Very tempting. Just forward the lower ribs in a little bit more there, Hazel. And then steady the leg. And we're going to reverse. Yes. Well done. So we don't need much for balance work and hip strengthening. Her book, as you've noticed, is more than okay. That's it. Mara, bring your head back a little bit for me. Last one. And then we're just going to balance. Last little challenge. Maybe Cossack position. See how we feel here. Well done. And then you can step away from the block for a moment. Surprisingly challenging, isn't it? A little block. Okay, from here, I will give your hip a moment to recover without the block here. Don't get too used to it. We're going to come back to it very soon. So from here, maybe just push it softly or step away from the block so you're not going to trip over it. Ideally stepping off the mat there, Hazel, I think, because we're going to do a little bit of skating. So again, we're back to hip width. Yes, I'm hoping the legs are feeling energized. We're going to have our arms in prayer position here, and we're coming into our squats. So keep that contact, and what I keep going on about, that little turning of the heels outwards, is super, super soft. It's not to the point the toes are going in, and we're not widening either. It's just a little bit of connection on the outside. Okay, basic squats, everyone. Center, so the spine is nice and straight. And when you're ready, we're going to sink down, possibly an in-breath, just to support the upper body as it tilts forward a little bit, and then coming back up again. And think about what we did last week, ladies. So when we're coming down, really notice those sit bones widening outwards, pulling together to bring ourselves up. Good, great alignment there, Jane. Very nice. Okay, so good connection of the outside of the ankles there, really nice. Well done, good. So the gaze just naturally drops a little bit. And maybe see how your legs are feeling at this point, whether they feel warmed up enough, and maybe we can go just a fraction lower. Just to that point where it's feeling a little bit more uncomfortable. And let's just see how that feels for a few more. That's it. We are going to hold in that slightly uncomfortable position. That's it. If you're still too much smiling, I know you're not uncomfortable enough. So maybe sink a fraction from here. We're going to do tiny, tiny, tiny little lifts of one leg. Again, I'm going to start by lifting my right leg. So without the hips moving, without the head coming to the ceiling, can we lift one leg a fraction? I know. Good, well done. Little wobble is okay. It means everything's working as it should. It's almost as if that foot lands on a very hot plate. Good job. So we barely touch the floor when the foot comes down. Well done, Diana. We're just going to do a few more of these. Working the same muscle, strengthening. Lovely. On the next one. From here, can we leave the toes down once we've had that final little lift? That's it. The leg's going to go to the side without us pushing up. So stay low, send the leg out, just skating along. Bring the leg under you. Same leg goes back out again. Yes. Good. Very nice. Nice that time. Good. Hazel, maybe bring the head back a fraction. Now straighten your back just a little bit for me. Can we keep the pelvis nice and square? James, send the right side forward a little bit. Very nice. Good. It's almost like it's winter time. We're skating in Winchester around the cathedral, which I've never done, and I probably won't do this year either. Here we go. And on this next one, let the leg stay out for a moment. Last challenge. Can we lift that leg a little bit away from the floor? It's super small. Stay low. Lifting, tapping. Lifting, tapping. Good, Hazel. Very nice. Nice and strong. Last two. And then bring the leg under you. And we can come all the way back up. Oh, it's not what you had in mind when I said block, is it? I like to keep you on your toes, literally. All right, we're going to sink back down. We are going to do the other side now. Find your slightly uncomfortable position. Find the edge there. Same little leg lift. So all the weight onto the other leg. A little lift and a little up. That's it. Maybe that's it, Diana. Keeping that sense of the leg almost just pumping through the sticky air there a little bit. Very nice, Jane. Good. Hardly lowering at all onto the floor there. There you go. Nicely done, everyone. Keep the centering going so we're not getting this into the lower back. We've got a lovely long lumbar there. And on the next one, let's keep the toes down. Yes, let's reset. Ideally, the knee is still pointing perfectly straight forward. Let's skate other side, pushing out and pulling in. Out and pulling back in. Yes. Well done. We've done this with sliders. Maybe I should have added that too. That would have added an extra little thing. Yes. Good job, everyone. Last two. And on this very last one, leave the leg out. Can we achieve a tiny little lift? Well, let's see, shall we? A little lift and a little tap. Good, Jan. Very nice to see you. Yes, let's do two more, just for good measure. Love it there, Hazel. Good job, Jen. Last one. Bring the leg under you. And we can straighten to come up. Oh, wonderful. Really nice, everyone. Okay, last little thing before we settle down onto the mat for a while. Again, the block. And I would again suggest that you have it in the longer position so you can put your foot on it and feel that you are supported. So do what you can there, Diana, with yours, because we're going to come into a few lunges using the block. Yes, it's going to challenge our balance again a little bit. So from here, we're not actually going to move away from the block. So you find a position where you're going to plant your first leg. I'm back to the first one I've been working. So it's really my right leg there. Okay, toes spread out. Same gentle connection through the heel outwards, or all the corners of the foot, if you like. Adjust to where the back leg is. It can be wider. The wider it is, the better support you have. Heel is down. Aim to have the shoulders above your sit bones. It's like little heavy weights here. Whenever you're ready, we're going to very gently slide down and we're going to push back up again. That's it. Good. There you go, Hazel. Maybe pull the head back a little bit. See if you can have the gaze floating out in front of you. Good. Nice. There you go. Nice and deep there, Diana. Lovely. Maybe lift the gaze a little bit as well for me there, John. And on this next one, well done then, Harry. We're going to stay down. Yes. So can we do little heel lifts on that front foot? I think we can. Let's give it a go, shall we? So the heel lifts away and it rolls back down. Feel that lovely connection through your calves, up through the back, into the hip. and pressing back down. Let's do one more. And leave the heel up. Tiny little pulses, 8 in fact. Work from those sit bones. 8, 7, 6, much smaller, much smaller. 3, 2, 1, roll the heel down. And then you can step towards the block before we do the other side. All right. So let's just reposition. Take your time with it so you feel really steady there, so we're not wasting too much energy in trying to keep us onto the block there. Here we go. Spread the toes out. You find your position for the back leg that works for you. Back heel is up. We're nice and strong. Again, centering. Whichever breath sounds you, but going down with an in-breath here is quite good. So sinking down and pressing back up. But press from the buttocks here rather than the knee. Think about the line. That's it. Through the second toe on the block, up through the knee, through the hip. Hazel, open your right knee a fraction to the side. Good. Very nice. Lovely as well. Yes. Good. Maybe and then bring the shoulders back a fraction. Yeah, better. Well done. All right. On this next one, let's step down. Yes. Let's do those lovely heel rolls on that other side then. So we're rolling away. Nice and steady with the upper body. Try not to lift through the upper body. Find that connection through the base of the toes. Little toe, big toe. Think about that connection on the outside of that heel and rolling down. Doesn't matter how high it goes or not. Good, Mara. Maybe bring the weight back a little bit through the upper body. That's it. On this next one, leave the heel up. Tiny pulses, super, super small, barely visible. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then roll your heel down, step towards your block. Come off the block and shake your legs out. Ha! All right. Yes. Then just let your feet be nice and heavy. You can step onto your mats if you want to. We're coming into roll downs, everyone, so do face each other quite far back towards the end of the mat there and just see where you settle down. We will come back to the blocks in just a second, so do have them available. All right, find your connection. Let your arms be nice and relaxed. So from here, think about your spine here, dividing your body in perfectly symmetrical halves. At least that's what we're thinking. So as we roll down, keep your nose lined up with the breastbone, lined up with the tailbone. With an out breath, just gently drop the chin down. You're looking down your nose. Then let your head begin to roll forward, and the neck and the shoulder line. A little roll through the spine, keeping those lower ribs floated up towards the ceiling. That's it. Okay, maybe push your right heel outwards a little bit. Again, maybe out breath, scoop those sit bones forward to begin to roll up. Good. See a little bit more weight forward. So rebuilding the spine bone by bone from the base and up. Nice, Hazel. Good. That's it. Hands down, bring your toes a little bit closer in towards each other. And we're going to roll back down again. Good, Mara. Now work a little bit from your right side. Yes. Good. That's it. Good job. Just really keep that softness, that initial nod we get at the top of the spine when we look down the nose. Let's see if we can maintain that beautiful soft curve all the way through, all the way down and all the way up. So there's absolute ease at the back of the neck. That lovely now. That's so good with the weight. That's it, Diana. If the hamstrings are feeling a bit warm, and maybe keep the legs a little bit more straight than you think you can. And we're going to do one more roll down. Lovely. Taking your time with it. Beautiful there, Jane. Well done. And once we come all the way back up, lovely there. So peeling those collarbones back. Give yourself a slightly wider stance with your legs there. We're going to sink down towards the floor through a squatting position. So we're going to go as far down as we can. So be generous. Probably still quite early here for the hips. So as wide as you want. Then from here, maybe a little bit of centering, keeping the back as straight as we can. And we're going to let the knees open out nice and wide. You're going to sink down and we're going to hold it here just for a few moments, however you want to sit, whatever you want to do with your hands. They're very gently, perhaps. Make use of your elbows, gently opening the legs outwards towards the side. That's it. It's looking great. Good. Just take a moment to breathe into the hips here. We're not going to stay for very long. Good. And then if you can, if you have the block available, reach for the block and place it under your bottom. See, so there was method to the whole thing. So we're coming down, you can sit however you want, or you can, you can position the block however you want. Maybe you want it more like you would with your thin cushions. So we've got loads of space here. If it's too narrow, Diana, use both. Use both to kind of make it a little bit wider. Now, why is this good? Look at you all. You're looking quite comfortable here because we're lifted away from the floor. So it makes it a little bit easier for the knees to be lower than the hips. That's what it's all about. And that allows you to sit nice and tall. So sometimes when I say, oh, use a block if you want to, it actually makes it so much easier. You don't have to fight to get into the best start position. So take a moment, just maybe make sure you have equal weight over your sit bones. Sit as tall as you can. Hopefully it feels a little bit more effortless than usual. Maybe push your feet a little bit further forward to make it even nicer for your hips. See, all of a sudden you're sitting even more upright. That's it, Hazel. Pull your head back a little bit and just see if we can allow our knees to just kind of fall outwards. Yes, that's looking very nicely, very nicely. Lovely, everyone. Excellent. Okay, so from here, we're coming into a few waist twists. Start with your arms outwards towards the side. Make sure you can see the fingertips in the corners of your eyes, and that's exactly where they're going to stay all throughout. So without your weight changing, let's breathe out. Perhaps grow a bit taller. We're going to turn towards the right, so the head goes. Then the breastbone goes. The arms are still reaching away from each other. Equal, sorry, Hazel. Equal weight over the sit bones. Ripple forward. Really lovely there, Dan. From the breastbone up through the collarbones, neck, head. Good. Come forward a little bit with your breastbone. That's it. Remember that feeling of a slight intention. Very nice. That's you. Gently pressing forward, even as we're turning. Good. Keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. Very nice there, Maria. Lovely. And really think about those arms as really relaxed here. Come forward a fraction again, Hazel. Yes, perfect. Nicely adjusted there. And we're going to do one more in each direction. That's it. Good with the arms there, John. Nice little wingspan. And here I feel like I can actually sit here for quite a while. It feels quite nice. Sitting here now, that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's come straight into a little bit of side reach, everyone. Again, using the arms. So if it's not too much for the shoulders, come back into your lovely wide wingspan. Still nice and tall. So from your side, you've got that beautiful line you just all had from earlobe all the way down. From here, we're going to do this variation where the opposite arm doesn't drop. So we activate through the shoulder girdle a little bit. I'm going to go over to the right again. Left arm floats up. Not too close to the head. Now the arm is just relaxed. Head goes, collarbones go, rib cage goes, and I'm resisting the move with that arm. That's it, Jan. Lift it a little bit higher. Jane, lift your right arm a little bit higher. Then work your way out of that one back to start position. Go to the other side. So my right arm floats. Now it's fixed. Head goes, rib cage goes. That's it, Hazel. Good. Really reaching through. Well done, that Anna. And work your way back out. And again, think about what divides the right and the left half there. Yes, it's the spine. We know that. Good. So you maybe gaze a little bit further forward. See if we can keep the same amount of energy through both sides, keeping them equally relaxed. Nice, Jane. Well done. Just let the gaze slide on the wall in front of you for one last one in each direction. Very nicely done. And then from here, you can come away from your block, ladies. We're going to have our feet on the block. Yes. So again, I would suggest a wider position. This will be very nice for you, that Diana, with a slightly higher lift. So let's position the block. It would be in the, well, your feet are going to be in the same position as they would usually be for your spine curls. So make sure the block is not too close. You've got maybe about your foot's space between your sit bones and your heels, and you're still parallel hip width. That tiniest little connection through that ankles outwards, arms nice and relaxed. And just take a moment to just find that lovely little line at the back of the head as well. If you are using a cushion, make sure the gaze is straight up there to the ceiling. You've got a little bit of space there between your earlobes and your neckline. Maybe just get my stick. Stick. That's good. Nice, Mary. Lovely. Good. Maybe a little bit more pushing your left hip going straight into the floor. So yes. So put a bit more weight on that side, but open that leg out a little to the right. Better. Good. Nice. Good. Lovely. And so you just lengthen your left side down towards your block a little bit. So you're getting that length in that side. I know you're a little bit on the narrow side. Bring your right foot out of fraction, but contact on the arch into the block. Yeah. All right. So from here, we're going to start just with our usual spine curls before we start with all the fun. So you might feel this a little bit differently today because it's really nice when you have your feet elevate a little bit. It gives a really beautiful rolling through the lower back. So really think about your lower back as you do this. Whichever breath helps you, but think about tilting your sit bones up towards the sky now, gently rolling the pelvis up, then through the waist, then through the rib cage. Lovely, Jane. Pause for a moment and melt back down. And really take your time again, lower back. Keep the tail up for as long as you possibly can. Nice, Hazel. If you notice the gaze towards the ceiling changing, it's because we're not connected enough through the top line. So let the shoulders be super heavy into the mat there. Good. So a little bit more contact over the left foot for me. Nice there, Mary. And of course, I want jazz hands. That looks good, that done. Yes, so it's nice and soft. Hip bones are equally level. That's it. Good. Let's see. Now just a fraction more energy on the right leg as well. I'm asking for more. I love it. Jane's like, yeah, I've got jazz hands. Yes, he's got jazz hands. I love it. All right, let's do 2 more. There you go, Mary. Open the knees out for a fraction. That's it. Good. It just gives the lower part of the spine there a little bit more room to really roll, creating that lovely sequence that we're after. And once you come down from the one that you're on, I'm going to ruin the whole experience for you. Well, maybe not quite, but if you need to just give yourself a little wiggle or legs in towards your chest before we continue, do so. I want those legs to feel fresh and strong because we're going to work one side only. Yes. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Place both feet onto the block or the book, but then we're only going to have one foot down. So maybe, Diana, bring your block a little bit closer towards you, a little bit far away from what I have in mind. All right, so you all know that when we work with one leg only, the pelvis wants to drop. So imagine you have something under that side where the leg is hovering in a single knee fold position so that we're not dropping down. That's it. Let's start with the right leg floating in a perfect 90-degree angle there. Good. And now that leg is not going any further away, not closer either for that matter. Connect through your left foot as much as you can. Now can we roll up into our spine curls? Stand into the foot. Lovely, Hazel. Good. Gaze nice and relaxed. Well done there, Jan. Roll back down. Take your time with it. It's the same rolling as before. Same leg. So that right leg just stays up for a fraction. Yes, very nice. That's it. And of course, I'm going to add to this as well. That's it. Get a little bit more length on that right side there, Diana. I think it's hiking up a little bit.
Yeah, I can't take this.
Good now, Mary, well done. On the next one, once you've rolled back up, hold. Yes, now that right leg is going to do a toe tap. Oh, yes. So that leg is going to lower in that 90-degree angle, aim for the book and bring the leg back up, then return your back down onto the mat, bone by bone. Good job, Hazel. I know this is a toughie. I'm asking a lot here. Good connection there, Jane. And we're going to do it again. We're going to do 3 of these. Roll up with that right leg hovering, and when you're up, we center, we toe tap. That's it, and we have one last one to do. Good. There you go. And once you finish that, I think we should just go straight to the other side, don't you? Yes. Why don't we? So, left leg is floating. Already before you start, think about the level of your hip bones, perfectly level. We're just going to start without just, she says, with the spine curls, right? Let's not rush it. Scoop the sit bones up. Feel that beautiful gradual roll. There you go. Nice. Hazel, soften your lower ribs and then roll back down, keeping the sit bones up for as long as you can. Let's do maybe 2 more. Yes, Diana, look at that. Really nice lift there. Good, Sue. Just notice again the heaviness at the back of the head, gaze perfectly straight up. The throat is beautifully open. We can breathe. And on the next one, stay up. Let's add the toe taps. Now you know we only have 3 more to do. That's it. Good. There you go. Leave the leg hovering. Return your back. That's it. Yes. Well done. Roll them back up. Find the toe tap. Work from the top of the thigh if you can. Yes. Very nice. That's it. Good. Well done, Latan. Last one coming up. It's an adventure. Really nicely done. From here, hug the legs in towards your chest. It's always a nice one. And that might also give you a little bit of space to reach for your block, because the block is now going to be under the pelvis, I would say, more towards the sacrum, not necessarily so much through the lower back. Diana, still stay at the lowest level, if that makes sense. So we support it here. That's it. You might feel the sit bones ever so softly coming away from the block. And this is where we're going to be for a little while. Now, you may need to adjust a little bit. It depends on the width of your blocks, etc. But you should feel quite supported here without it digging into the lower back. Don't worry so much about where your legs are at the moment, because they won't actually be down on the floor. That tells you we're going to be in a double full position. So let's have a little look. That's looking pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Yes, let's give it a go. If you float the legs up into your double knee fold position, everyone, that will be the acid test. That looks good, that looks good, that looks good. And pull your boot up a little bit towards your waist. Yes, so you're a bit more supported there over the lower back. That's looking fine. And of course, we don't want the lower back to kind of carve into the floor. So we're elevated, but we're still in neutral, right? So we have a tiny, tiny little carve away. All right, so from here, we're going to come into some double leg circles. Let's bring the legs together, Pilates stance. A little frog V, heels together, knees open apart. That's it. Good, 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 good. Yes, that's it. Just relax the legs there. From here, everyone, we're going to push the legs diagonally forward, breathing in. Open the legs outwards into a slight V. Pull the legs down a little bit. They meet in the center. And then bring the legs back up. Perfect, Hazel. And again, open out. Send the legs down. As the legs open up, make sure they don't lift to the ceiling. Holding it there, now perfectly straight out like windshield wipers. That's it, Jane. Very nice. Good control that one. That's it. Keeping those legs really nice and straight there, Mary, as you circle out. So these are circles we would be doing on the reformer. Fabulous. As the legs come towards each other, really pull from the inner thighs. Nice. Last circle this direction before we change direction. That's it. That's it. Good. Lovely. So this time around, pull the legs downwards. Open outwards into the slightly wider than the pelvis. Bring the legs up and together. Good. A little bit too high. That is a lower a little bit for me. There you go. Very nice. Good. That's it. If you straighten the legs upwards from your seat, I'll talk you through that. So a little bit more weight on the left side. Pull the legs downwards. Straight legs from me. Sorry. Right, so the legs go down when you hover. Now open those legs out nice and wide. Beautiful. And together. Perfect stillness over the pelvis. Yes. Nice. Good. Yes. Really good work for the lower abdominals here for the legs. Let's do one last one. And then hug the legs in towards your chest for a moment. Have you done stag before? Does that ring a bell? No. You would have remembered. Sometimes it's also called bow and arrow for the legs. Still no bells? No bells. That's all right. What I'll do is I think you can all see here. We're going to stay with the pelvis onto the block there. Again, this is from the reformer repertoire. So really, you would be doing this with your legs in straps. So you might replicate that one day with bands. You would start here. You would have your legs in your little Pilates stance. So that's two things that's going to happen. One leg is going to push out on a diagonal, just as a little bit like the circles. And then this leg opens inwards and out. So if we start here, coming to there, one leg opens straight out, the other leg bends and opens to the side at the same time. Does that make sense? Then both legs go forward. The other leg opens straight to the side. This leg bends and pulls inward and out at the same time. You're there, Hazel, without the pelvis moving. Press the legs forward, back into that little Pilates shape, and open straight out. Yes, Jane, perfect, good job. Yes, we're there, everyone. It's a really little nice stretch for the inner thigh. Lovely there, Sue, well done. Keep that reach. Kind of let the pelvis roll, that's the thing. So it's equal connection at the back. Yes, Diana, there you go. Well done. It's a dynamic stretch, a little bit of coordination. Lots of new things here today. Let's do one more for each side.
Lost it then, I was like, oh. What am I doing? I'm like, okay, got it.
Once you've finished the very last one and you have the legs back up towards the ceiling, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Open the legs apart a little bit for a nice wide V position. Curl up towards your thighs, reach your arms in between the legs. And this is where we're doing our 100. Yes, maybe lower the legs a little bit, everyone, if you want to. Let's start breathing. Let's beat those arms up and down. Work from the back of the upper arms. Yes. Very nicely down. Keep the reach going. Lower the legs nicely. Good, Hazel. Straighten the legs as much as we can. We want that tension in all directions. There you go. Nice, Mary. Let those shoulders slide down to the back pockets. Maybe think about a little bit of a squeeze from just above the waist to help encourage those shoulders downwards. Love it, Jane. Really good control there. Well done. Heavy, steady. Good. We're reaching. Probably reached 100 a long time ago just now. All right, let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then give yourself a lovely little rocking and rolling there. Oh, lovely. Well done. And you can come off the block, ladies. It's quite a nice stretch, actually.
I like that one.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to come into a little bit of 4-point work. There will be a little flow here. I'm going to try not to hold you particularly long on each side, but you all know me, I probably will fail. We're going to have the block under one of your legs. So let me illustrate. Again, I'm going to keep this lovely long side there. I'm going to have one of my legs on top of that. The toes can certainly be down onto the floor. I don't mind at all. And what we're going to start with is actually the same thing that we did standing. So it's that little dropping of the hip. So if this is your hip in neutral, we're going to lower one side towards the floor and then lift back up again. We're going to do a few other things. So it looks a little bit like this. Yes, you're starting with one side lower than the other. We're going to lift up. So if you had the beautiful smoothies on your lower back, you would be perfectly level here. And then one side is going to drop to the floor. You might touch the floor with your knee or not. And then lift back up again. So it's the whole side of the hip working here. That's it. So nothing else changes. Knees under pelvis. That's exactly at the hazel. Nice, strong wrist. Good there, Jan. We're going to try not to tip to the other side. That's it, Jane. Good. Really nice and level there. And see you soften your shoulders a little bit for me. Good. There you go. Well done. All right. We're going to do 2 more. And then we're going to go into the flow. So if you're just holding, hovering, making sure the pelvis is nice and level from here. Stretch that hovering leg out behind your hip height. Good. Hazel, lift your head a little bit more down. Lower your left side down a little bit. We're going to lower that leg towards the floor to almost tap it. Nice and straight. And lift back up to hip height. Good. Not quite so high there, Mary. A little bit lower. Think length instead. So lower that left side down. Good. There you go. Very nice, that jump. Good, Hazel. Beautifully level there. Good, Diana. Maybe drop the gaze a little bit. Well done. We're almost done. 2 more little taps. Once you've lifted from the last one, hold 3 circles each direction without your pelvis moving. Nice and strong, that's so good, Jane. And change direction. And then from here, you can come away from the block, sit down, just circle your wrists a few times in each direction. Yes, I did say it would be loads of hip work here today. How are the legs feeling, by the way, Mary? Are you feeling you've recovered from Thursday? All right, everyone, we are going to do the other side. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Yes. Thank you all, by the way, for being so organized and facing the same direction. I looked and you were all facing that, so I'm not even going to say anything. There you go. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Just take a moment. So that's it. Make sure you're in that right position. And then we're just going to start with that free leg hovering. So we start with the pelvis nice and level before we deliberately tip it down a little bit towards the floor. Dropping that side down and then lifting it up. Good. That's it. Mary, straightening her back a little bit for me. Yeah, beautiful. Very nice. So lift your head a fraction. Yes, Hazel, very nice there. Keeping that sense of equal weight through both sides of the body. Well done, Lajan. Yes, same energy through the shoulders, lovely long neck. Let's do one last one. And then we're going to level that pelvis out. So the leg is definitely hovering. Straighten the leg out behind you. That's it, not too high. That's it. Now tapping that leg downwards. So we're not going any higher than hip height. Very nice, Sajjan. Good. Wonderful. There you go, Hazel. You corrected your head yourself. Nice, Diana. Maybe a fraction more weight onto the right side there. Keeping it nice and level. Very nice. Good. All right. Last little tap. 3 circles each direction. Keeping the pelvis steady. Feel the thigh bone. That beautiful long line. Controlled. Oh, so good, everyone. And change direction. Very nice, now Mary, again, nice and steady. And once you finish this one here, come down onto your heels, maybe, and circle your wrists a few times in each direction again. Well done. All right. Let's stay with your heads towards reception or whatever we want to call it. We're going to do a little bit of side lying work, not too much. I would suggest you're on your elbow. If that is too much, you can have your arms stretched out, but it's actually it'll actually be a little bit easier if you're on your elbow. For you, Hazel, because you also have a perfect yoga block like Diana has, I would suggest you use that and you put it on the highest edge. So maybe the smaller one. It's up to you. You don't have to. It's just since you have it. So maybe Diana, tilt it upwards a little bit more. So it would be the equivalent of that. Yeah, there you go. So again, yes. Yes. Everyone else, I don't know if your books will stay, ladies, but we can give it a go. It should be so you have a slightly higher block. Let's put it like that. Your bottom leg will be in a chair position. The block will be about halfway up towards the knee. So if you're thinking middle, maybe a fraction higher up. So it's a little bit below the knee there in front of you. That's it. And don't worry if the block falls over or whatever. It's just a little prop to help with height. So we're on our elbow, we've got the legs stretched out. So we're going to do a little bit of hot potato here. So we're going to lift the top leg. I don't really mind what your ankle is doing, but I would suggest a really nice long toe if you can. A little bit of a lift through the waistline. We're going to sweep the leg forward without flipping the block and tap the foot down. And then bring it a little bit behind your upper body, perfectly still. That's it. Sweep it forward and tap. And come in behind you. Good. Yes, if it falls, it's no big deal. There you go. It's just to get that control little sweep. It might be so close that you can almost feel your block or your hook or kicking it. Doesn't matter. That's it, very nice. As you get that beautiful reach behind you, good, Jan. That's it, heavy, steady, upper body still. So we're not swaying with the movement. We've got one last one to do. And when the leg is in front, you're going to stay. Why? Because we're going to do little taps here. So we've got that lift through the waist. Keep it all throughout. Let's tap down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then lift up, and we're going to do the other side. So I would suggest if you stay facing me, heads towards Waitrose, feet towards reception, perfect. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. So let's line ourselves up there. That's looking good, very nice, lovely, nice and ambitious. So Jan, if you turn around to face me. So yes, so your head is in the right direction, but you can still see me at the front. That makes sense. There you go. All right, now from here, that's it. Good, good, good. So let's just make sure that top shoulder hasn't rolled forward. It wants to do that, but we have to pull the top shoulder back. Everyone stretch the leg out. Long toes if we can. Let's lift the leg a little bit, and we're going to sweep it forward and tap. Good. That's it, Mary. Keep your upper body a little bit more still there. That's it. Good. Nice there, Jan. Lovely. Maybe Hazel, push your top hip forward a fraction. Lovely. Really nice over the neck. That's so good. Nice. Reach that down. A little bit of that sweep across that block. Yes. Wonderful. Let's do one last one, keeping the upper body absolutely controlled. A little bit of a lift. We're going to do the taps. That's it. So keep that leg forward. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then bring the leg back. Wonderful. We're going to do more in the same vein before we put the block to the side for today. Take your block, whichever setting works for you. I would suggest not too ambitious. So maybe make it quite narrow, almost think about this as an extension of your tailbone. So we are going to do similar leg lifts like we did before. We're going to start with your legs in a slightly wider position, a little bit of a turn out, sitting nice and tall. We're going to come into roll backs, partial roll backs, and then we're going to lift the leg. So from here, let me just check that you're sitting in a good position. That's it. Good, good, good. Imagine you're still sitting on that block. See if we can replicate that lift away from the sit bones. Good, good, good. Very nice. All right, so from here, sense of reach through the legs, grounded through the sit bones. Let's find our partial roll back position. Maybe have your arms in chest fly position, fingertips maybe touching, maybe not. Shoulders relaxed. Let's send the sit bones forward. Scoop out over the front of the body. You've created a soft C with your back. Roll a little bit away from your thighs. Hold for a moment. Maybe touch your lower back. Lift the right leg away from the floor. Bring it across the block. Then lower it down. Same thing to the other side. Left leg lifts. Bring it across without the pelvis moving. Lower it down. Return your back up. And lift away from the sit bones. Good. Let's do that again. Scooping, rounding, rolling. Keep that connection of the lower ribs in. Very nice there, Jane. One leg lifts and pulls across a little bit. Good. Try to keep both buttocks really nice and heavy. Good. Hazel, pull those lower ribs in towards you. Nice return there, Diana. And there. We come back up. Scoop, 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 scoop through those abdominals. Remember to roll back up again as well. That's it. Scooping. Good with the shoulders there, Sue. And sliding back. Really nice there now, Jane. Really ground those sit bones. And keep the C shape as you return back up. Well done. There you are. Good. Very nice, Mary. Maybe soften the shoulders. That's it. One last one. Good, Hazel. And coming all the way back up. Really nicely done. All right, you can all put that block to the side. It served us well today. Let's roll onto our front, everyone. It means you can either stay with your heads outwards towards the sides. If we want to do that, that might be easier that way. So just come onto your front. Cobra position. Give yourself a little bit of space there. Make sure the elbows are below your shoulders. The legs are probably in a very similar position, similar width to where they were when we were just doing that horrible across move. That's it. So just bring your elbows further down towards your waist and just bring the hands outwards towards the sides. That's it. Mary, bring the hands a little bit further out as well towards the sides. There you go. So you can really relax onto the floor. Nice, nice, nice. So you maybe push your right leg downwards away from you a little bit more. And a tiny bit more turn out rather than turn in. So yes, towards the corners. Lovely. Okay. I think we're fully warmed up for Cobra. If you choose to stay a bit lower, that's fine. But on possibly an in-breath, let's roll the gaze forward, gently peeling the back of the head away from the floor, down in between your shoulder blades, arms straighten and roll up nice and relaxed. Relax your arms, Mary, pull the shoulder blades back. Very nice there, Jane. Good, lovely, Hazel. Roll down. Remember the rolling, rolling, rolling until we're almost all the way back down. Beautiful, good. That's it, Jane. Really good with your arms there. So the arms straighten as a reaction. Lovely with the gaze there, Diana. Wonderful. And melting back down into the floor. Bone by bone by bone. Really nice line, that's it. Good. As little effort as possible through the arms. Just think about them as being there to stopping you from falling down. As the only function they have right here. Wonderful. You're going to do one last one, everyone. And once you've finished this one, We're going to finish the class ever so slightly differently today, very unusual for me. Push your bottom onto your heels for your rest position, if that feels okay. If you prefer to sit and hug your legs, that's fine. Take a moment here. That's it. Maybe catching the breath, really notice the beautiful curvature of your back. Sit bones very gently scooping forward. So even though we're relaxing a little bit here or resting, there's still a bit of activity going on. Well done. Maybe give your sit bones and your bottom a little bit of a wiggle from side to side. That's it. Breathe into the sides, breathe into the back. Feel that sense of a lovely, lovely, long, heavy, relaxed line at the back of the head. Maybe even nod your head a little bit up and down if you want to, if it feels okay. Maybe a little bit from side to side. And then make sure the hands are close enough under your shoulders. Gently rebuild your spine. Pull yourself up from the bottom of the spine. Arms might slide in. You might end up onto your knees. Welcome world. There you are. And then from here, everyone, you're done for today. Well done.
Thank you.